Hi. Can you hear me? Asna, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Asna?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you now. It's audible. There are 7 participants now. Okay. So, welcome to IB Educators Chat, and I welcome everyone. Please introduce yourself in the chat box. Where are you joining us from? Your name and where are you in your IB journey? Okay, so we have Kimberly. Okay, this is school, Candid School. Hello, Kimberly. I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Hello. Good evening.
Hello. Good evening. Is it good evening for you as well? Where are you from?
Yes, from the Philippines. From the Philippines.
Okay. We have Rizwan with us. Bina, yeah. I'm just waiting for a few more minutes and just see if others join, and we'll just start in another 2 minutes.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello,
Hi.
Asma.
Hello, Miss Latifa. How are you?
How are you?
Hi.
I'm fine. How are you? Hello.
I'm
Oh,
good.
Shubhalakshmi, how are you?
Good. How are
You
you,
remember
Latifa?
Asma? Exciting
Yeah,
to see you.
same here. Yeah. So nice to see you.
It is
Yeah.
actually a virtual get together. I was getting bored, so I thought, okay, why don't we?
So good to see you. So good to see you all. Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Srishti. Can we see you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hi,
just
Kiran.
a minute, ma'am. 1 minute.
Yeah, just be camera ready.
Yeah.
Kiran is also there.
Okay.
Hi, Kiran.
Hello.
Why don't you
Good evening.
introduce yourself?
Hi, Srishti. Okay, now we have 9 participants. Okay. Miss Kiran, please introduce yourself. Miss Sheena, please introduce yourself. Where are you joining us from? And how about your school's journey? When it comes to IB, are you a candidate school or an authorized IB school? We would like to know.
Hi. We're also a candidate school from
Okay.
Manila, Philippines.
Okay. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, I think I should wait for 2 more minutes because yeah, yesterday I could see many people who were trying to join. Miss Kiran, where are you from?
Unmute your mic and talk.
Okay, we have Sonia Singh joining us. Please introduce yourself in the chat. Or you can unmute yourself and talk. Both ways, we're fine. Shall we start, ma'am, now?
Yeah.
Or should we wait? It's 10 participants now. We
won't
should,
have enough.
yeah.
So Sherbanu hasn't come. We sent her off and she hasn't come.
Yeah. And there were 4-5 people who were joining yesterday. I couldn't send them a mail, but I get a notification from Zoom that people are trying to join. Yes. Okay. So welcome everyone once again, and it's so good to see people from different parts of the world, and we all are united through IB. So the basic agenda, these are the essential agreement that you need to introduce yourself in the chat box, your name, location, and your stage of IB journey. Please keep yourself muted if you're not speaking so that we can reduce the disturbance. Share your questions and queries in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and share it through the live discussions. This meeting will be recorded. It's recording now. So agenda for today's chat is understanding the procedures of remote visit, what it is, how it will take place, and what are the preparations need to be in place. Then the second thing that is the most important part, we will be discussing about the technology requirements pre-visit and during the visit. Am I audible?
Yeah. Yes, you are.
Okay. So, and prior to visit preparations also need to be in place. We will be discussing about that. What all possible evidences that can be collated and collected as per the standard and practices, we'll be discussing that as well. And during the visit processes and procedures, and last but not the least, the favorite part, you all are inquirers, so question time will be there. And we have some experts with us. We have Subhalakshmi ma'am with us. She's an experienced IBAN. We have Latifa ma'am with us. She is again an IBAN. So yeah, we have people who can help us and to move forward in the process. So for the tech requirement, the foremost requirement is internet access because this visit is going to be virtual. So make sure that when you are opting for such visit or having this visits, you have high bandwidth internet. If it is happening in the campus, it is easy to control and it is easy to manage. But in the present scenario, probably the school is running remotely and the participants are sitting at their places. So in that case, just make sure that they all have high bandwidth internet access to support the video conferencing. Second thing, the equipment that we are using, probably the mics or the cameras, should be tested beforehand. And these two things has to be discussed in collaboration with the visiting team, whoever is visiting your school. Software update is again a requirement. Which is a priority. If it is happening on school campus, a school is running in campus, then the mobile devices is a good idea so that you can capture the different areas of the school. You can show the facilities and all. Just take care of the charging provisions as well. For this type of visit, it was mandatory. I say it was mandatory that the school should be operational, either remotely or physically. But as per the recent guideline, even though if the school is not operational, physically or remotely, you can still talk to the PRM, your program relationship managers, read the FAQ, and try to figure out if there are options available for you. So this is something which is a recent update from IB. When we did the visit in the month of April, this wasn't the scenario. It was mandatory that the school has to be operational. But now there is some flexibility, and IB is actually offering high level of flexibilities in all such processes, but still they want to maintain the standards. Now we'll come to the prior to visit preparations. So the first and foremost thing is the agenda. Agenda is almost same as the face-to-face visit, but we need to have certain, specific flexible areas. When it comes to the duration of meeting, it is longer in this type of visit. Usually it is 20-25 minutes, but here it is 40 minutes. Same group of people will be there in the agenda, like the governing body, your pedagogical leadership team, teachers, specialist teachers, parents, and the learners. But there are, the flexibility, and again matching the standard is a task. I had to revise my agenda almost 4 times just to see everything is aligned, because we need to produce evidences during these days which shows our best practices. So agenda is something which has to be decided at least 2 weeks prior to the visit, in collaboration with your visiting team member and the visiting team leader. And the first meeting, which usually the program relationship manager or the authorization manager arranges, there we discuss about what technologies we can use, what should be the agenda, and it is exactly the same except these certain things which I have just mentioned. Again, I'm going to stress on this point. Please ensure what technologies are you using and discuss it with the team beforehand. And I suggest, out of our experience, okay, I'm going to mute all. Okay, so if you want to unmute, you can unmute and speak. So I'm again stressing on ensuring the technologies should be in place. Whatever you are using, make it consistent and use it throughout for both the days to avoid confusion. So this is an advice from our side. I think I missed something. We have two more co-hosts with us, Miss Rosie Johnson. She will be adding on her experiences, and Miss Subulakshmi is also participating as a host. So she will also be adding on evidence. She will also be adding on, her expertise in the discussions. So Miss Rosie, would you like to add on something over here? You can unmute and speak.
You have spoken most of it. Thank you, Asna. It's just that we have to be really organized, because in the short span, they would like to see as much evidence as you can produce. So if you are organized and your folders are ready, so I think it's easy for them to have a glance of what you are trying to show them, and that really helps. So that is what really helped me. We had those folders ready, and then what we did is we created a folder for the visitors. So all the documents that we had created in the folders was there, and we shared the folders with the visitors, so it was easy for them to browse through whenever they had time.
Yeah, that's great. And this is organization, good organization is a key as a success for this kind of visit, because they really want to see everything in such short span of time. So yeah, now let's move on to the additional document, photographic evidences and video. We will be discussing about these things later in the chat. Major document, I should say, you all must have read the guide to authorization and guide to consultation. The major documents is still the same: your action plan, your POI, planners, and scope and sequence document, samples, learning samples of the students, and all those things should be, like well collated and sent to them beforehand. Earlier, the requirement was 1 month before. Again, there's a flexibility, at least 2 weeks before you need to send them these documents. Again, I should suggest one more thing. Sorry. If the school is running remotely, then choose a unified platform. Google Classroom had been decided in our case, and what we did, they were from different G Suites and we were from different G Suite, and there was a clash. They were not able to see neither the documents nor they were entering into the classes. So this was an issue that we observed. So we resolved the issues by making them a visitor and giving them the same email ID from the same G Suite. So this is again a solution for this. unified platform for collaborative discussions is important. We chose Microsoft Teams because it allows, the same, it mirrors the collaboration processes that we have in school. It allows to make channels, and you can have discussions with different grade levels. And in our case, I was the admin of all the channels, so I was informed what is happening. And we have added the visitors there. One thing is it's a good thing if you're using Toddle or ManageRack, you can directly add them as visitors over there so that they can see the curriculum framework, your POI, uh, planner, student samples, because Toddle allow it, and Toddle also tags the evidences as per the standard prep. So if you're using Toddle, so life becomes easy for you. And Seesaw also is a tool for evidencing the learning. So if you're using Seesaw as a digital portfolio, you can add them over there, because what we need to do, we need to show the best practices that we are implementing throughout our journey in IB. Yeah. Yeah, so let's move on to this. It's, I just skipped one slide. Yeah. So what we use WeTransfer for transferring the videos. For documents, we use G Drive, but for transferring the videos, we use WeTransfer. It allows you to transfer free almost 2 GB, but we took a paid version. And as you can see, I can clearly see that it is sent to 3 people and 2 have downloaded it. So this is how we sent it. It was quite easy for me to see whether it is downloaded or not, they have seen it or not. So the entire data was there. And like Miss Rosie discussed about maintaining the documents and the folders, it is very, very important to maintain all those things and a knowledge like what all is required. For example, say standard A, when they come for the visit, they see face to face many things, but they are not here. So it is our responsibility to show whatever we have been doing. So for standard A basically deals with philosophy. So how the philosophy of a school is aligned with the IB, we need to give that evidences. So we gave them the website link, we gave them the parent handbook, we gave them the samples where we did discussion about the IB mission statement and the school's mission statement. There were certain things like which we recorded the school tour and shared all the facilities, the displays through which we are communicating to the parents about the IB philosophy. Again, the location of the school, the outdoor and other facilities were shown. For standard B1, which is basically deal with the leadership and structure, we provided them the school organogram, that is a hierarchy chart, and the job descriptions, and what is the release time for me, what is the location of my office, do I have enough space to store the document, where do the collaboration takes place. All those things had been shared with them through photographs and videos. Again, when it comes to B2, it talks about resources and support. Resources, the resource center is library and your ICT. Some schools even have the STEM labs and the art labs. So whatever you the kind of resources that you have in school, that has to be well captured either in the form of photograph or in the form of videos, and has to reach them. So you in the library, make sure that you are covering all the sections of the library, like the fiction, non-fiction sections, your professional development sections, other resources, the digital resources, how your library promotes the nurturing, how your library nurtures the mother tongue or the additional languages, has to be collated, collected and shared with them. Again, how library is supporting the inquiry, academic honesty, how it is supporting the information literacy, all those has to be recorded. Same goes with ICT. ICT is used as a tool. So how students are using, what type of equipments you have in schools that supports inquiry. So that all has to be captured and sent to them. You can even write certain, descriptions of the kind of facilities you have. And you can take the help of librarian and the ICT facilitators, those who are there. Standard C1, C2, C3, C4, it all deals with the curriculum. So for standard C1, MOM should be in place, some videos or photographs of your meetings. The agenda should speak about that C2, C3, and C4 is actually a product of sustained collaboration. So your written curriculum, your teaching and learning and assessment should be a product of sustained collaboration. For C2, what IB says that if you're opting for such visit, capture a 10-minute video of the class where the actual class is happening, and capture it for all the grade levels and for specialist classes also. And they do observe it live as well. For C3, for C4, you can have your assessment policies, your assessment tools, your strategies, all those, and you can share it again. You can share self and peer assessment. You can share the actual samples of the students as an evidence. So make sure that whatever you are doing, everything is recorded and shared with them by the possible ways. This is how we arranged the entire thing. These are all the standards. Under this, we have created the subfolders. So these are the subfolders where we covered all the standard and practices. And you can see at the bottom, there is a presentation. So in the presentation, all the slides are hyperlinked with the subfolder so that in a click, they can see what all is there. So we tried to make it easy for them. Doing this, also keep in mind that there will be many things that they're going to ask you in those 2 days to keep things handy with you. Now, during the visit process and procedures, there will be live interviews with the governing body, pedagogical leaders, and all the stakeholders. So you as a coordinator or as a pedagogical leader, help them to understand the process, that what is expected when such interviews take place. If you have teachers, those who are new, so talk to them, talk to the parents what is expected, and it's not a test. Rather, through that they can understand what do they know about IB, and do they like the program to parents and all. So this kind of discussion, I'm not telling you to have a mock session with them or something, but yes, explain them so that they can understand and they don't feel nervous and all those. And during the live interviews, train them that one person should take the lead and then others can talk. Otherwise, they all will start talking because this is something new for them as well. And usually the children rock the show, and we don't have to train them. They are digital natives, so they rock. But yes, for parents, you need to speak to them, you need to train them, you need to ask that which technological platform they want to use for such meetings. During the live class observation, one thing I suggested, make them the part of the same system which you're using. I gave the example of same G Suite. So yeah, make sure that they are able to observe the live classes. In case there is some technical glitch or something, so you record the classes and you can share it with them for those 2 days. And even you can record it prior as well. If you're a coordinator or head of school, they keep on visiting you for the discussions and clarifications, whatever they will observe. So people are asking, we have been receiving, like me and Miss Rosie, people are asking us that give us the list of questions. So there is no list of questions, rather it is too much contextualized and it is based on the realities of your school. Ma'am is smiling, so she knows it well. So I have been hearing people are messaging, so there are no set questions, but the criteria is with you since long standard and practices to take a sigh of relief. Nothing will come outside it. They are going to ask whatever you are doing. Right, and then there will be the exit interview. I want Miss Rosie to explain about the exit interview because hers was the wonderful. Then I'll explain about me. And I've done too much of talking. Yeah, Miss Rosie, please explain.
Asna, everyone is very anxious that what are the questions they're going to ask the parent community, the pedagogical leadership team, the students, what questions will they ask the single subject teachers. So basically, yes, you have to, what I told them is be honest. Be honest with your answers. If you don't know certain thing, be honest to say, we don't know, we are not doing this, we are doing this to this extent. And I was very honest with them, with my teachers, because we've been doing PYP for almost 2 years now. And I deal with 104 teachers. And I very, very honestly told them that I cannot tell you that all teachers are with the same level, right? We have teachers of different temperament. We have different teachers from different countries. So all that I told them is all are not on the same phase. And they were very, very happy with the honest answers. One thing when she's talking about how do you introduce them to your classes? If you're doing Zoom meeting, I would just like to share the screen, Asna, if I can.
Yes, I'll make you the host, then you can. Let me try it one more time. Okay. Yeah, I have made you the host. You can share it now. Just try it, Miss Rose. You can do it. You're the host now.
Let me, yeah. So I'll just share what we gave them. So what, so we have like this, the Google Meet, and we have the links like this. So we shared this links with them. So anytime the visitors wanted to get into the class, now this was like Sunday. This teacher has a lesson from 10 to 10:30. This is on the Google Hangout. So they just had to click on the links and get into the links. So this links were shared, this kind of links with each teacher. Now, if they wanted to go to the UOI teacher, or they wanted to go to the single subject teachers, the music teachers, we have all written here, whichever teachers they wanted to go to, they would click on the link and they would enter the classes. So on 2 days, they had kept some time free where they could get into the classes of whichever teachers they wanted. So this is nice that you could share with them. And as she already said, that we created a visitors drive and we made folders of all the evidences here. So we gave them the access to this, we gave them access to Atlas. So it was very easy for them to navigate through whatever resources we want to share.
What is those, mommy?
Okay. Ma'am, would you like to say something? Would you like to add on over here? Because you being an IBAN knows it more better than us. We can't hear you, ma'am. You're muted. Ma'am, you're muted.
Now fine?
Yeah,
you
now
hear me?
fine. Yeah, we can hear you well.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
No, Jerry.
So, yeah, it's like I've been in IB, I think, for the past 15 years. So it's like a great experience to be on
Miss Rosie, can you mute the participants because you are the host? Mute the participants so that.
So
Yeah.
it was a pleasure for me to be on both the sides as a head of school or a PYP coordinator, and also the other side as a visitor and all. So I'm just going to highlight on few things, the view of the visitor. Now they both shared about, as a coordinator or as a head of primary or something like that. I just want to give you all what is the perspective on the other side of it. So mainly we will be like the documentation, or our focus, what we are going to document and give it to IB is a triangulation. So we will be focusing on, one is the conversations and the interactions. From what I'm going to tell you is from where we are going to take the evidences. The three corners are, one is conversations and interactions with the people. The other one is the school visit and the classroom visits, which is actually you'll be missing when it is online one. I mean, that's the most celebrating part if it is face to face, and all the schools will be waiting for it actually. But I mean, it's not a great missing, but we can definitely compensate that with another way. And the third one is the documentation that the schools submit us. So these are the three areas that we will be focusing again and again to get the documentation. So when it comes to conversations and interactions, like as Ashna and Rosie pointed out, yeah, the meetings that we will be, the live meetings we will not be seeing. So we want at least either the previously recorded meetings are also okay, or connect us to the live meeting. If the school is running, and there are different ways. One is like school can run as usual, but the visitor cannot come to your school for some reason in the last minute. So then also it can be a virtual visit. So then it is actually something a little bit easy, because the school is as usual, and you can arrange all the meetings in one room and then connect with the proper channels and things like that. So that is one way. But the other way is like school is not working, and the virtual visit has to happen. Then it is like the school is either working on online, and then we have to get connected. So there are different scenarios. So mainly the issues will be when the school is working. Whatsoever, the school has to be working in either way. So in that process, we need the live records, either the live recording connections or previously you might record. My big suggestion at this point is whoever is expecting a visit sooner, because we never know when it is going to be. Even though it is declared, okay, now from now onwards it's going to be face to face, but we never know. All of a sudden, something might happen in our region, and the visitor may not be able to come. It could be, we have lots of various things. Sudden lockdown happens.
Ma'am, I just need to add on here. So participants, I couldn't make up the paid version of Zoom. So it is showing that running out of time. So I request you all to join again if the discussions continue. So use the same link and join again. Thank you. Ma'am, you can continue now.
Okay, we can continue. Okay. So will the audience be listening to us now?
Yes, they can listen. Yes, they can listen to us now. Now 10 more minutes are there. So there was a reminder, so I just reminded them all.
Okay. So I'll make it quickly. So make sure. And the most important thing is what we are going to see is the inquiry. Inquiry is like, how is it happening? What is it? That is what. And that's what we will be missing when it is a virtual visit. So what I suggest you all is, from now onwards, keep documenting. Whether your visit is in future or not in future, whether it's face-to-face or virtual, keep documenting. Usually also we do a little bit of assessment videos, we document, and all those kind of things we do. But maybe now we have to have more focus on that. And as a visitor, we will be looking into those things. And then the documentation, I'll suggest you where the highlight of the documentation has to be there. The documentation on philosophy. Some of the things Ashna has already pointed out. The philosophy, because philosophy is something, unless we see live and the action of the people and all that, on paper it could be abstract for us. So kind of collect videos, or create, or even from home also ask your parents. If you're already in the lockdown and then the visit is sooner, then ask your parents to videograph any action that they are taking. So make it a mandatory that from today onwards, everything has to be documented in a photographic way or in videographic way, with some captions and date and all that. Because the date and captions are also important, because we cannot have long time back thing and showing it as now or something like that. So those are philosophies, one thing. And the collaborative meetings. Whenever you're having a collaborative meeting, start recording it from now onwards and make it a habit that it is there with you all the time ready. And for the collaborative meetings, if there are live links or something, that's fine. But previous meetings, if you want to add, make sure your minutes are more in detail. Generally, we get minutes, which are bullet points and which really don't give us an explanation to imagine what has happened. So make sure your minutes are more in detail and all that. And of course, the teaching, learning and resources she has pointed out, make sure as you're videographing, you talk about it, not just a silent videography. Either you dub it, talking about the facilities and all, so that, it will be very, because as visitors, what I'm saying is like, we will be having loads of documents to see. And schools are excited to share everything and maybe so much more than that. And you guys feel that I have shared so much and then they haven't even gone completely through. It is, but we will be trying our best to go through everything. But as visitors, when we go through one document, we will have an idea of the other one also. So probably in that way, if there is no time, maybe we may not be able to go through all the documents, but 99% everybody will be going through all the documents and all. So make sure your documents are in detail, and even your planners also. Explain the inquiry and the agency quite in detail, so that we will not have a doubt at all, is it happening or not happening. So if you give with clarity, especially about agency and those things, then it will be easy for us to understand. Because as visitors, we think 1,000 times to give a recommendation and maybe 100,000 times to give a matter to be addressed. We don't want to give. So that's the reason We keep asking in the last minute also, give me some more evidence, give me this evidence. That might really, bother you a lot.
Frustrating at times, but yeah.
Yeah, so that might irritate you, but that's the reason behind it. The more, I think, Asna, you also experienced by your
Yeah.
consultation. Give me this, I want to see, give me that. So in the last minute also, we will be asking. Actually, you're supposed to submit the documents 2 months before. Okay, if you cannot, and that too in this duration of time, at least 2 weeks before. Okay,
Yeah.
2 weeks before you have submitted something. But even, we will also consider even the visit is over and at the exit meeting, as Rosie pointed out. So it's like, okay, then we tell you something, okay, this might be, like that, or this might be a recommendation, you need to work on it or something. Then also we give you an opportunity, if you submit even some videos or some documents, even after the visit is completed, before we submit the report to IB, we will be happy to take it and work on it also. So that, at no point of time we want to give any unwanted recommendation or unnecessary matter to be addressed. So that is where, and then I want to make it clear to you all, make it as a celebration. No visit is a kind of a test, or it is not a stress, or it is not testing you or something like that. It is a celebration, and it is for your support and for your betterment. So that is where the visitors also, build a big rapport with the coordinator, and they meet the coordinator many a times, so that the coordinator will share something which is betterment for the school, so that we can work on it in direct and indirect ways and inform the management also. So this is what is required for your school. So this is a collaborative process, that where we will be really, wanting the school to get authorized. We will not be looking at finding faults or anything. Yeah, but we have to be critically looking at everything, because we are not there to just wow for everything. Definitely, because whatever evidences we give, we have to give like kind of each point that we agree, we have to give at least 8 to 10 evidences. Because of these 10 evidences, I am giving either this recommendation or this commendation. So for that is the reason, I mean, we wanted a very authentic output for you all. So that is the reason. And the tools that you're talking about is, yes. So make sure there is no technical disturbance that will really irritate the visitor.
Yes.
And because the time is limited, and if the technical disturbance is there, make sure maybe either you buy extra for that period of time, or you do something, you borrow some more devices, or do something and make the best use of the technology. Because otherwise it will really irritate the person, and maybe we will not be able to give the right output or the right commendation or the recommendation that we want. So because technology is something, it is now not in our hands, we do understand. And maintain a consistency in technology, so that not some are in Zoom, some are in Google Meet, and some are in this. So you try your best that it is you do it, and always have a plan B and plan C, because this is a very important point. Try to have plan B and plan C always, because we never know, some technical hurdles may come, something else may happen, and so everything should not be stopped. So you have some plan Bs and plan Cs. If this doesn't work, okay, I'll be doing that. So that is what will be. And then the online classes, very important point is the online classes. If you're giving link to the visitors, make sure and inform your teachers the online classes are active participation. It is not just the teacher is on one side and the children are just listening to them. It should be an active participation as a live classroom. So children should be interacting, and there should be a lot of learning engagements which are more interactive. And so that the evidence will be there, that there is an opportunity for perspective looking. There is an opportunity for agency, the voice, choice, and ownership. So make sure the live classrooms, what you're linking to the visitors, will have a lot of interactive sessions. Otherwise, it might look like, okay, the teacher is explaining, the children are just listening to them. So this is something very, very important. And yeah, I think because the time is quick. I mean, the time is
Yeah.
short. So we're quickly
Time
talking about
time is short, ladies and gentlemen. You can again join us back for if you have some questions. We'll be more than happy to answer you. There are 2 more minutes. So here I would like to add on. Ma'am, are you done? Shall I say something here?
yeah, please add on. There are more, but again, if there are
Yeah.
questions, then I connect it to
Yeah,
that.
so I'm talking about matter to be addressed. Matter to be addressed is intact and it is very much there. But don't be in fear of that. In case if there is something which they are not able to collect, even though, telling you again and again, and there is a situation which you cannot go to school and see it. So it will come as a matter to be addressed, but you will be given enough time to resolve the matter or to close the matter. So in this scenario, I was very much panic about matter to be addressed, although I have more than enough because we were almost ready for our face-to-face visit. And then I had so sorry for this. I'm so sorry. I couldn't help it. So sorry. Yeah. So okay, let others join. Yeah. Okay, so so don't be in a fear about matter to be addressed. It may be there, and you can even ask for some time. As Rosie shared, mute. I'm just going to mute everyone for a while. You can unmute and speak. So as Miss Rosie shared that they asked about it, that do you have some more evidences? To me also, even though I shared everything, but as ma'am said that probably due to short of time or certain things, they couldn't see those shared evidences because we shared in bulk, more than enough we shared. So they asked me some specific evidences. So make sure whatever, like the important documents are there, that should be intact at one place, which you can share like in a wink. And library resources has to be listed and it has to be categorized because they are very much interested to see the library stuff. So if it is cataloged, it is good. If it is not, for me, we were not using any software, so we had Excel sheets, so I had to share it. Your SEN room, SEN facilities, all those things they may ask you on those 2 days. So these are the two things that I would like to add on. And now it is open for questions. So please, one by one.
I just want to add one point,
Yes,
Ashna.
Yes, ma'am.
Your action plan. Please
Yeah.
pay a lot of attention on your action plan.
True.
And make your action plan as detailed as possible, because many times we will be referring action plan. Even though we don't see it in live, if it is an action plan, okay, they have put it in the action plan. So maybe if not now, later it will be in place. So we will even consider that if something is in action plan, and that is like an agreement. It's a kind of an agreement that you do it with your school and with us, saying that, okay, I'll be doing it in the next month or next year or something. So we can even consider that, okay, if it is in the action plan, it is almost as important as it's happening also. So make sure your action plan is very much in detail and you address almost all the points as per the standards and practices. And the face-to-face visit and the virtual visit, there is no difference, especially when it comes to the points of the stands and practices, or even the agenda. Agenda is also the same. That means same in the sense you have to address everything what is in the face-to-face agenda. Probably the difference will be the duration and whatever, that kind of flexibility will be there, right?
Yeah, here I would like to show you the agenda which we have used. I can show you that. Yeah, where is it?
So if they have any questions also, I can address that.
So yeah, there is a question in the chat, ma'am. Can you see that? No. Yeah, I'll just read it for you. Can you see this, my screen? Can you all see my screen? Yeah, so this was the agenda, as you can clearly see. This was day 1, and yeah, there you can see the blank. Actually, it is the class observation, and I added later on. It was live. So all the links, the meeting IDs, everything is there, and you can see the duration as well. So this agenda was like a kind of roadmap for the teachers. They just clicked it and entered it. And still, after making it so, crystal clear, there were people who did mistakes. So be prepared, be little calm to accept mistakes, because yeah, everyone is, so this is the agenda. I'm going to share it on the Padlet. I will just remove the link and I'll share it so that you can take it as an exemplar. And I have mentioned in the agenda what all has been shared beforehand, and everything is listed here so that they can see it and have a look at what all has been shared. I just summed it up again for them. Yeah, so the
question,
yeah question is, it's like Miss Sheena asked, what would you suggest? My school asked us to do a paperwork, do a lot of paper worksheets to bookbind, to be used a lot of school. No, a lot of students have no internet. So she is basically talking about that the school has told her to do a lot of worksheets, and students have no internet at home. This is the major scenario.
The first point is, first you need to check whether the worksheets are thought-provoking, are they inquiry focusing, agency focusing or not. If the worksheets are, like kind of fill in the blanks and do this, do that and all, and if they are pre-planned, if all the worksheets are pre-planned and bounded, then that is a little bit of a risk, I would say personally, because if it is an inquiry, your whole set of worksheets are not pre-planned. As you're proceeding, you will have your work that is happening, and you will generate as per the context of the classroom and things like that. So it will be a little a risk factor if you really pre-plan the worksheets and bind them and keep them ready, and kids have to just fill in that. That is a little risk factor. I would suggest, your main question is there is no internet, so how do I transfer these? So probably some of the sheets, probably as an evidence, you may screenshot or you may take photograph of those and put them together as a soft copy and share with them, and attach them to your planners. Probably some of the sheets belong to some planners, so you may attach them to your planners so that they really refer to those planners. Otherwise, if the book bind is shared with them as a set of worksheets, it will be really difficult for the visitor to make connections what worksheet is meant for what and all. And make sure they are not pre-planned worksheets, because worksheets, first of all, avoid worksheets, and it should be an open-ended task. So pre-planned bounded worksheets are always a risk, and it is not advisable. Have an open-ended task, and those can be photographed if you don't have internet. If children are not using internet, no problem. You scan it and then attach to the planners. So which planners, which learning engagement tasks can be attached, or you separately send them and you refer as, these are the sheets that talk about internationalism. These are the sheets that talk about student reflection. These are the sheets that talk about action taken, because these are the few major areas the visitors will be focusing on. We want to know whether the action is really authentic and happening or not. And we want to know whether the reflection of the students is authentic or not. So, and how much of internationalism, how much of the philosophy is in place. So instead of submitting the sheets as a bundle, segregate them, categorize them, and give a written explanation, and maybe that will be a little easy for the visitors to connect with what you're doing, because your effort should not go waste. And it doesn't mean if there is no internet, no learning happens. Learning does happen, right? So maybe you have to, as a coordinator or head of school or whatever it is, you as a team, core team, can be doing this and putting them into the soft copy folders and all that. I think that solves.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Azan is going on, sorry, so you can hear that noise. I'm very close to mosque. So yeah, I would like to add on over here, as ma'am said, that pre-planned worksheet never works. But because what do they want to see? They want to see differentiation, they want to see inquiry, and there are 100,000 ways to do that, even though students are at home. So what we did, because we are also in a very remote area, parents are not tech savvy, some of them are there in their villages, so we worked along with the WhatsApp. So WhatsApp was a lifesaver for us. So mothers used to click the pictures, but make sure from your end, whatever you're giving, as ma'am said, it has to be open-ended. You can use choice menus, you can use tic-tac-toe. So you can give them varieties of opportunities so that they can exercise the choices, they have a voice, and make sure that they are reflecting what they are doing, how they are doing, and and what do they want to do. So that should be visible. This is something which I would like to add on. Students can make their own videos and share their questions. So inquiry can never be planned. Inquiry has to be messy, and you need to love that mess. And the visitors, those who are coming to see you, they actually love it. So don't think that, okay, this is a messy work, they may not like it. Let it be the way it is, because they want to see what actually kids are doing, how you are nurturing their natural curiosities. So how do you do differentiation online? I just said that we prepare, am I audible? We prepare choice menus, we prepare tic-tac-toes, we give them enough opportunities, and this was the first thing that I did here after joining. And luckily, teachers, they grasped it so very well. So it was happening, and same we put it across to the to the Google Classroom. So all our tasks were differentiated, were open-ended as much. So this is something which we made sure. I want Rizwan to unmute. Rizwan, can you please, I have one teacher here with me. Rizwan, can you please unmute yourself and can speak about how did you do the differentiation? It would be great to hear from you.
Sure, Miss.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss. Thank you so much. Okay.
Switch
so
on your video also. What happened? You have your video off.
Okay.
Okay. Carry on.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
kidding.
Okay. Okay. So basically, in our classroom, through Google Classroom, we taught some differentiation learnings tuck sheet where the students can, as we have done differentiation learning throughout the year. So, student knows how to do the work. So they have, they choose the tasks based on their own level of understanding. So the students completed the tasks, and then again, they uploaded in the Google Classroom. And those who has some problem in technological things, like those doesn't have any laptop or something, or they face any difficulties to upload the things, they took the pictures and they give us personally in our WhatsApp. So we took it from the WhatsApp and we uploaded in a drive where Aslam is created the folders.
Thank you, Rizwan. Okay, Marv, I think I'm pronouncing Unal Marv. Yeah, you're asking.
That's
did
me.
they ask? Yeah.
Hi.
So yeah, hi. So thank you for the questions, ma'am. She is asking, did they ask you to upload extra video recordings? So you can answer this, ma'am.
Yeah,
If you want, I can explain it briefly because the question is not clear as far as I understand.
Please, do it.
First of all, thank you for sharing your ideas and experiences with us. Hi from Istanbul. What I would like to say is that when you uploaded your authorization materials on the system of IB, I mean my IB system, when you upload it, you probably didn't know that you're going to have remote learning process. So the materials are actually explained well. So program of inquiry, assessment policy, language policy, blah, blah. As you did remote verification visit, did they ask you any extra materials related to remote learning and teaching process? That's just what I would like to ask.
Would you like to answer, ma'am?
Yeah, sure. Merv, we might ask a lot because, as I said earlier, unless we get all the evidences from all the angles to make it as a commendation or a recommendation or a matter to be addressed. So we don't want to conclude that unless we get complete evidences. In case, because the physical visit is not there, I'm not seeing with my own eyes to make it as a evidence. I'm not listening directly from anybody. So in that case, definitely I might ask for more and more videos. So that's where I said right in the beginning, start from now itself, documentation in the process of videos and photographies. And sometimes the photographies can be put together and make it into a kind of a film kind of a thing also. So from now itself, whoever is waiting for a visit, start from now itself. And the direct answer to your question is yes, we will ask and we might ask a lot of videos. So just get
Beforehand, you mean, right? Because you will have the agenda, so you will be able to visit. You will be able to visit the classes online. But despite the fact that you visit online, you need further recordings for the classes as well. This is what I understood, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because sometimes the online class, either it could be a technical problem or it could be anything. I may not see the entire gist of the classroom. Maybe you must have done something so well. So I feel that, no, this is not the thing. There's something else happening in their school. They're doing so much more, but I'm not getting the evidence. If I feel like that, definitely I'll ask for one more video so that I can give you the right comment on it.
Okay.
So that is where we will be asking. Sometimes it will be really irritating for you all. I mean, what is this lady in the last minute she asks? But that is all for the betterment of the school. Because we don't want to just, okay, this is not there. I don't have complete evidence, so I'm making it a recommendation. No, we don't want to do that. We want to, try all the ways and means to avoid recommendations and matter to be addressed.
I have one more short question. Thank you for your answer. Is it possible for the visitors to ask for videos of PLT meetings? Because we have the documentation, but we haven't had any video recording yet. Do they want to see that, or do you want to see that?
Yeah, probably if you have the past meetings, detailed minutes of the meetings, and maybe 1 or 2 photographs, it should be helpful. But we will be having one either live meeting with them as a part of agenda. The visit team will be having a live online meeting with all the PRT and also the board members as per the agenda requirements. So that is going to happen. And if at all the board of the members or something like that, they are not available on that day and something, you might have a pre-recorded one, but our questions won't be answered. So we prefer a live meeting with the senior management and of course the PRT and the teachers, the specialists, the homeroom teachers, as in the categories, the kindergarten teachers separately, the homeroom teachers separately, the specialists separately. So all these meetings we want to have it in live, like online meetings. So that is mandatory. That's mandatory.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Others, you can please ask the questions if you have any. We have Subbu ma'am. She's generous enough to share all her knowledge. Thank you so much, ma'am. Others, please, you can ask live questions. We'll try to answer.
So ma'am, we have our eval visit scheduled in December. But we don't really know if it's going to be online or it's going to be virtual, or how it's going to be. We still don't know. So how do we go about preparing for that?
That's the point that I was continuously talking about. So we never know. December may not be possible. As of now, till September, nothing is possible. So right from now itself, prepare yourself for a virtual visit. The possibilities, your school might run by that time, but maybe the travel may not be possible. So in that case, a little bit of advantage for you, school will be running. From there itself, you can connect the online everything. But maybe that also you cannot assure as of now. So start recording everything. Please tell your parents. Now, if suppose online classes are already happening, or they might happen from June or something like that. So tell your parents to keep on recording their inquiry that they're doing at home, their learning that they're doing at home. And then probably you may compile 2, 3, maybe 1 class videos all together, compile, edit them, or make it understandable way and present it to them so that it talks about a live classroom kind of a thing. So you might do those kind of things. And even your collaborative meetings also, because anyway you have an advanced information, may not happen. So in that way you're already half prepared. So why don't you record your meetings also? Record your meetings and elaborate your minutes, have some photographs. So that's always good. If you're having online meetings, record them. Even if you're having face-to-face meetings, try to record them so that it will be more of a live, evidence for the people. And be extra cautious in your documentation, in your planners, so that your documentation is elaborate and easily understood by the visitors. So when there is something not understood, when the evidence is not clear, then only a question pops in our mind. Oh, this planner talks about conceptual understanding, but in the, in the learning engagements, I'm not finding that. In the planner, they say that these concepts will be developed. But in the learning engagements, there is no learning engagement that talks about function, or there is no learning engagement that talks about, say, perspective. So what the teachers agreed, the concepts, the learning engagement should reflect. Same with the learner profile attributes. Whatever in the planner that you all mentioned that these will be, like it's a kind of agreement with the students. In this unit of inquiry, we are all together going to develop these conceptual understandings and these learner attributes and all those. So those should be visible in your learning engagements. That means you are giving opportunity to them. Unless you give an opportunity, those won't be developed. So how do we know that you gave an opportunity? Those will be visible in your learning engagement column. So, and then student evidences. So next to your planners, attach some student evidences with photographs or videos or something like that, so that the planner will have more weightage and more, the quality or more evidential it will become.
So, ma'am, we are currently using Toddle, through which we have photographs, we have videos, we have all that uploaded. So, can we instead of planner, can we share the link of the Toddle?
Yes,
So in all
Toddle.
evidences we have put links of Toddle, so where the visiting member can look at the link. So, is that fine?
Not only that, Toddle itself allows you, it's customized in a way that it will tell the visiting team that for these standard, these are the evidences. So it is actually a life savior when it comes to, and like we all are, stressing and focusing about evidencing learning. Now this visit demand evidencing everything. So in our case, what we did, all my teachers are bloggers. They have their blogs. So they used to, because I didn't have Toddle, I didn't have ManageBack, and this is the first time I'm working without these two, planning platforms, that I don't have anything because of the budgetary issues. So all the teachers are bloggers. They have their own blogs where they just take all the learning engagements, have they demonstrated any learner profiles, reflections. So everything was quite visible and easy, and it was documented we did it in the last. So all 6 unit blogs were there. And I have a question from Gizem. So Gizem, so ma'am, he asked that we haven't recorded our meeting so far, and I don't have the evidences of the meeting. So will it be a big issue? So Gizem, we would like to know, where are you in your IB journey? Are you a candidate school, or you're going for your authorization? Can you hear me? So I can see the question. But I can see the person. May I know who asked this question? Gizam Dolu.
Hello, I asked this question.
Yeah.
Hello. First of all, thank you for sharing and putting a lot of time and effort for this meeting. So we really appreciate it. Thank you. My school is a candidate school, and we were planning to have the visits in May, but because of this COVID-19 outbreak, we have to date. So we were thinking that we could have actually the visit online, and so I haven't recorded any of the meetings online, or sometimes we used to take selfies when we had meetings at school, but not in every meeting. So I wonder if it will be a big issue. Even though when we have meetings, we definitely make changes on Google Drive. We do not use Toddle, we use Google Drive and Google Docs to keep everything. So if we go back to check the details, it's clear that all teachers make changes at the same time sometimes. So
I'm sure it won't be an issue, because whatever the minutes you must be having the minutes of the meeting on paper, right? As a soft copy or hard copy.
I have meeting minutes of PLT meetings, but we do not really keep them minutes in our weekly collaborative meetings. with the
Oh.
teacher stuff.
Okay, so weekly collaborative meetings, you didn't minute them on paper also, right?
No, because we discuss on what we are planning to do. We discuss on the reflection of students and the teachers, and then we just take our notes and make changes on the plan.
Yeah, so probably every teacher must be having her own or his own notes.
Yes.
So probably you might open a drive and ask them to share the points, you know, on so-and-so day meeting, probably the recent meetings at least, whatever you remember that we have spoken. So everybody will put their points and it becomes the minutes of the meetings for you.
Okay, thank you.
Right?
Like, not have any recording of a meetings at all. Whether it was a grade level collaborative meeting or the entire PYP meeting, we did not have any recordings, but we had the minutes of the meeting. And when the teachers come for the meeting, they have to sign, right? Whether it's virtual signing or, you know, they sign. So that was evidence that we are not faking it. We had authentic meeting. All that they want is that it's not done up at the spur of the moment, but we do have this. So nothing was recorded, but we just shared with them the minutes of the meeting, and we shared with them some photographs. That's also very random photographs. Otherwise, the attendance and the minutes of the meeting sufficed that we were having meetings. That's
that's
more
what.
than
If you have minutes of the meeting, that's fine. Every teacher has a note. So maybe you can ask them to put in a drive so it becomes a collaborative one. And from now onwards, probably start recording them because you still have time for your visit. So start doing whatever. So the past, don't worry about, oh my God.
Yeah.
Put together collaboratively, so automatically it will become authentic.
Okay, thank you very much.
I would like to add on over here, whatever you are having, have a system of it in your, can you hear me? No, she's on phone. Okay, I'll just say it. So on your timetable, the coordinator's timetable should reflect that there are slots available to meet with the teachers, to meet with the specialists, and same slot should be reflecting in the teachers as well. So that is also an evidence that your timetable allows collaborative planning. So along with this, it will be supported by your MOM. So have a structured collaborative approach being reflected in your timetables. That is important. So if you have not done it, revise your timetable. We did it when I joined this school. So it is important that collaboration is very important. It is an important pillar of this, you know, IB program. Without collaboration, nothing happens. And all your written curriculum, your teaching and learning, your assessment should be a product of sustained collaboration. So systematic collaboration is important. It's okay, you haven't done it. You're in a candidacy phase. So there is a lot more scope for improvement. So improve it with immediate effect. I'm not, you know, putting you in a situation, but still, you know, just advice to you.
But the teacher's schedule should show collaboration happening. That's mandatory.
That's mandatory.
Because I remember that when we had the consultation visit and our schedules were made by a software, right? Through Atlas software. So there was no way that they could put a teacher free, 3-4 teachers free. And there were some technical issues. So basically the timetable, what we call the teacher schedule, did not have like period 4, the grade 4s meet, period 3, grade 2s meet, all teachers are free and they meet. There was no way that was shown on the teacher's schedule. So that was a big problem for us. So we had to do it manually, create the schedule where we say, okay, all the grade 4 homeroom teachers are free and the single subject teachers are free and we're meeting at this time. Because that was one of the recommendations by the consultants. So by the time the visitors came, that was already in the schedule. Because that's the proof that you're having a collaborative meeting, and collaboration is so important. So the teacher's schedule should show that there's collaboration happening and there is a meeting at that time, grade level meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Rosie, for sharing this. Yes, it is vital. It is vital, actually. Without collaboration, nothing can happen. This is what we believe. And we do a lot of collaboration, but we don't document it. So get rid of this bad habit. Document everything, you know. Start taking selfies of your food that we ate there. I think they want this. Okay. So any other questions from people?
I have one more question. I
Yeah.
have one more question.
Please ask.
Actually, I have a lot of questions, but
It's okay.
what about
You're a PYPN.
Yeah.
what about standalone planners? I mean, before COVID outbreak, we started to work on them, but we were mainly interested in implementing the program of inquiry. But of course, like every school, we have some topics that we are not able to integrate to the planner. So we decided to use standalone planners. But are we asked to show them during remote visit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You will be asked
Yes.
whatever is happening in the school, and make sure that we are a candid school now, we cannot have that liberty that we are using any other planner. So make sure that all your planning happen on the bubble planner, that is a PYP planner template. That's good. And yeah, yes, they will
You
be
can
asking.
have your own. You can have your own way of planning also for standalone. If you want to change the model of the plan or the template of the planner, you can even change and then do it. But a planner with evidences should be there.
Yes.
At least from
Uh,
time you can work on it.
Okay. I'm sorry, I have one more short question.
It's okay. Don't be sorry.
Scope and sequence documents. During when we were uploading our materials on my IB system, we stated that this is true actually. We stated that we are using our national curriculum. I'm from Turkey. So we are using Turkish national curriculum. So we haven't started anything yet about scope and sequence documents. We only prepared a kind of map to show our objectives related to the themes. That's the only thing that we have done so far. So do they accept that mapping as an evidence of the beginning of the scope and sequence?
Yeah, we would definitely look into the scope and sequence requirements. Probably if you follow your national curriculum, no problem about it. But you look at the already, which is IB scope and sequence. If you, there is already IB scope and sequence, right? So you try to make connections between your national curriculum and the IB scope and sequence.
Okay.
Right? So try to make connections. And then if suppose all the learning expectations from IB, if you're not able to meet, you can even modify them and modify the learning expectations from the IB, and you can create your own scope and sequence. It is better you create your own scope and sequence, but if you're not able to create your own school scope and sequence also, you can follow IB scope and sequence as it is and make connections with your national curriculum and highlight these are the areas we are able to focus at this point of the time. And for sure, as we proceed, we will make our own school scope and sequence, which completely matches with the national curriculum or your school requirements.
Okay, thanks a lot.
So you have that flexibility, and then you can do that.
But make sure that your enduring understanding and the learning outcomes are, mapped in a curriculum, and you can show that yes, we are actually following what is expected from IB. So you can have it in the planner itself, and as ma'am said, devise your own scope and sequence. Miss Anandita, Miss Sain asks that is it okay if teachers make their standalone planner in Chinese language following the Chinese curriculum? So you are a bilingual school, if it is mentioned.
Yes, we are a bilingual school.
Yeah.
And still just we are in the process only, for the application process is just started. But our music teacher and the art teacher and physical education, they are totally Chinese. So they are facing big problem to following the full this curriculum. So they are asking, and they are very weak in English also. So they are asking, is it okay that if they will write their own planner in Chinese language? I am not sure. That's why I'm asking you.
It's okay. It's okay, I guess. Yeah, please elaborate. Please elaborate.
It should be okay. What's her name? It's same.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thanks a lot, because it's really great help for me also, because we are in a very small city.
Yeah, let me complete. So, and when you're asking for your authorization, when you apply for your authorization or whatever the visit, candidacy visit. So you might mention that ours is a bilingual school and some of our documents are in Chinese language. So probably IB might send at least one of the visitors as a person who knows Chinese language.
Okay, that will be a really great help. Yeah.
IB might consider, because you're a bilingual school. Definitely, if you're a bilingual
Yes.
school, IB will look into that aspect, and maybe at least one of the visitors will be that language person, so that at least one can be looking into the documents.
Okay.
So make sure you inform IB,
Yeah.
not as I want a Chinese person or something. We are a
Okay.
bilingual school, and some of our teachers are only Chinese people who don't know the languages. So either they might ask for you to arrange a translator, that is one
Okay.
way. And if you arrange a translator, that person should be out of your school person. It cannot be one of your teachers, or it cannot
Understood.
be one of your parents.
Yes.
They
Okay.
have to be out of this third person who will not be biased and kind of. So
Understood. Understood. Okay. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much,
There
ma'am.
are two ways.
Yeah. Even I know that even the parents interview is a big matter for them. So even I can say 90% parents are only can able to speak in Chinese. So it's very much needed for the from the IB also, like who understand Chinese. Otherwise, it would be very really difficult for us.
Let me say something here, Ms. Lakshmi, that since she's not given an application for the, we are also a bilingual school. So what happens in our school is the lower elementary but K to Arabic, and 3, 4, and 5 we have it in English. So definitely the lower elementary teachers make the planners in Arabic. But when I was filing my application, Ms. Anandita, they asked me that IB, the official language of IB, right? It's English, Spanish, and French. No, English, Spanish, and what is the third language? One more. So
Was
they
it French?
sorry, English, Spanish, and French, right?
Yes.
I think so. They did not allow me to upload the planners in Arabic language. They asked me to translate it, get it translated. And the translation could be from anywhere. So what I did, my application was due on 1st of October. I delayed application because I didn't know how to translate, and translating so many planners was challenging. For the application, they needed at least 4 planners per grade level. So I had to delay my application by 15 days because I got these planners translated into English and submitted it. Then when you already mentioning that yours is a bilingual school, so when they send visitors, they will make sure that one person is the native of that, native speaking of that, or knows the language. Like for us, they sent us 2 people, one who's fluent in English and one who's fluent in Arabic. We didn't have a request for it, but they look into the country, they look into your scenario, and they send person like that. But if you think that you've not got someone, a Chinese speaking person, you can always request when they send you the names of the people. But translated planners were a requirement for us.
Yeah. Ma'am, you're muted.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks. It's really very helpful for us because we are still thinking our teachers are also not able to speak English. So it will be a very struggling time for all of us.
Okay. There
So,
was someone who asked a question, I think Gizem. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to ask another question on scope and sequence. I'm having the same situation with Merve. We are using our national curriculum and we have a mapping chart that shows the outcomes of our curriculum under each transdisciplinary theme. So everything is covered. But the thing is that we heard that we actually had a consultant, not official one. She was an unofficial consultant for us, helping and guiding us in this whole process. And she advised us that IB was going to publish new revised scope and sequence folders for each subject. So she actually advised us to wait for it and then start working on scope and sequence, making it related to IB and national curriculum. So we were expecting it to be published in March, but nothing yet. So have you
It
heard
will not
anything?
be published in March. The deadline is 2022. It's not going to be published in March. The information is wrong. Please get back to her. Yeah, it's not, it's the timeline for scope and sequence to be out is 2022. I'm working on this. I'm working on the scope and sequence. I volunteered. So recently I got to know it's 2022, and ma'am can elaborate further. Ma'am, unmute yourself, ma'am, please. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, it's definitely not at this point of time. What I suggest, it will take, as Ashna said, there are a group of people working on it, and it takes some time, and that too in the COVID situation, it might even extend also, we are not sure. Even stands and practices also. Stands and practices are in place actually, but for some more time, we will be following, it is under pause, and we will be following the existing stands and practices only. If anybody says like they are all released already and they are in the website also, but still, and there is a lot of connection between the new stands and practices.
Yes.
So what
Yeah, so Gizem is there. Yes, what we were discussing, is there anything left for discussion? I think ma'am is not joining us. I'll just write her back. But I can answer the questions if yeah. Neelam asked something. Neelam, can you ask your question again, because the chat is gone now? So if you can ask it again. Where are you from?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, this is Udan here. I'm from GGR International School, and Subbalakshmi ma'am is consulting us. So I have put up that.
Okay.
So I know about that.
You can better connect with her. She will give you a better answer as a consultant. So
Sure.
So sorry, I could, because she should join. So I forgot your question entirely. So if you can say it again.
No, actually disconnected in between. So I just was. It took some time to connect again.
Yeah. No, but when we reconnect, so the chat is gone. Even I cannot read it back.
That's okay. I just wanted this clarification.
No, you can say it. Ma'am is joining us. Ma'am is joining us back. Yeah, ma'am, Neelam has a question for you.
Okay.
Neelam, you can ask.
Yeah, ma'am, I've put it in the chat for everyone. I wanted to know how for the early years are we going to do the remote visit, like as Karnataka Education Department. And they are told that we are not supposed to conduct any live sessions for them, and let us not burden the students. Now, but when we want to do a remote visit, we have to prepare the students with, you'll be seeing the live sessions. So that was my biggest query, how to go about it for the early years. So pre-KG, KG, yes, 1 or 2 live interactions to get to know the students, especially the pre-KG students, they are all new, and the junior KG also. We'll have live interactions between the teachers, the students, and the parents. But beyond that, how do we go about this? I mean, I was looking at couple of videos and couple of articles put up in IB, but when it comes to early years, there is still a lot of confusion, because the demography in various places differs, and how the parents receive it and take it up. Here they are not for the live sessions. So that is my biggest question. How do we go about? It cannot be just from grade 1 onwards.
But as an evidence, we have to meet the parents. So maybe, see, what we want live from the sessions is, one is that we will be meeting the parents. So in that, some of the parents of early years will be there, and live sessions of the classes. So if we are not able to see any early years class, it will be a question for us, or probably we will wait for some time, and if you can post some kind of recorded lessons also, we should be happy about it. But I think the government will release soon, like, okay, you can have online sessions and all. Is it like Karnataka government says absolutely
Yeah,
no?
because like some of the schools, they had already started off with the live sessions. So parents put up a petition and they said for the early years, they should not have live sessions. So it can happen from grade 1 onwards. So that was a concern. And here also, like it's 50-50, but we will be doing the live sessions plus the recorded sessions from grade 1 onwards.
So it's a new scenario. So probably what I'm suggesting, what I'm thinking is, you might ask you might give some tasks to the students, and maybe ask the parents to do them at home, and ask them to record the inquiry process that they go through at home, and with the support of the parents or something, so that there is some evidence that how the learning is happening. Maybe it is not a live online class, but you are posting through Google Classrooms or something, some inquiry task you might post, but the parents have to record it and give you, so that you can give us those. And I'm thinking that might be a way that we can work on.
That is what we are going to do for most of the recorded sessions. We are going to give them, everything is going to be through the Google Classroom. So all that, like involving all the 5 E's, we have made the day-wise planner for even the recorded sessions to be given to them and tasks to be given to them. So yes, we will try. And then
as it's a new scenario, like, which is not in any way, so we might look into that. And we all know I'm the consultant going to Neelam school, so
yeah.
She just shared when you were not there. We got to know this secret now when you were not there. Okay, Neelam, what I can suggest you, there are 2 tools which actually works well for, the blended learning. One is Edpuzzle and the other one is Seesaw. These 2, if you have, it actually makes blended learning very easily, and it is very, these little kids are very tech friendly. We don't know their potential, so they themselves can record, can share. So even though it is a state mandate that you cannot take live classes, but learning never stops, you can use these 2 tools and it works wonder. And use blended learning, and ma'am is a consultant, she understands well, so she has all the empathy for you, so don't worry.
Yeah, definitely. We are using Padlets, we are using Nearpod and all this.
You are blessed. You are blessed to have her, because she was my consultant also. She's so understandable. Yeah.
She told me, come join this. I wasn't aware of it. Thanks a
so
lot.
do you, Neelam, do you use Toddle?
No, Toddle, we are not.
Toddle is a good option too.
Very good option, because even parents can post the learning in that.
Yes.
So automatically, it will build up.
Yeah.
We were thinking of starting off, but then.
So here, majorly, you have to request your parents to collaborate with you and cooperate with you. If your parents are not cooperating, it is very, very difficult for you, especially the early years, what you're talking about. So they have to run the school at home, kind of.
But Neelam, how do you get the work from the children of early years right now, under the current scenario?
No, we haven't started. We'll be starting from next week. So they are on vacation now. As for the regular schedule, the academic session starts only from next week for them.
You're also have 2 Google Classrooms for the little ones. So the parents would take the video of the learning of the students and send it to the teacher through email or through WhatsApp. So that was the recording of the learning sessions happening at home. Like, suppose you've asked the child, maybe, one of the lines was like, create something with your toys in the house, or create something with Lego. So the children were making those Lego designs and the parents were taking the video and they sent it to the teachers. So these are the only way that you can get, because even if you have online session for the 4-year-old, it's very difficult to have a synchronous lesson with them. It has to be asynchronous, the children doing at their own pace and their own time. So
like in between you were giving them
sorry?
We were giving them a multiple tasks, like for the whole school. Okay, fine, you can do this, you draw and show. So many of them, even the earlier students, they came up with the drawing for how to stay safe and all those things. Whatever we could, we shared on our Insta that time. So, but we will include this in our inquiry.
Neelam, I would suggest you to focus on action taken, focus on agency points when you give tasks to children, and what evidences you get from parents. Focus on these areas: action, internationalism, then student reflection. So these are the key areas that if you get evidence, automatically it gives a feeling that yes, the learning is happening to some extent and all. We do understand the constraints that you have.
Sure, fine.
I'll go into the recommendation, but nothing to worry about.
Fine, I'll work on this. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, I had a question. So as Enhance really focusing a lot on play in early years, we had started implementing that before the remote learning started. But now, since it's online, it's going to be a little difficult to really implement that. So how do we provide evidence of that for the coming evaluation?
That's what the video of your Google class that's going on. Maybe somebody can video it because you're doing a Google class, or you can record your class. At the same time, you have to request I suggest you all to have an orientation for your parents. Now we are going to have something, a celebration upcoming. So we need your cooperation. So parents need to understand actually why they are videographing and why they are documenting and all. So you have to take the parents into confidence and explain to them, this is the reason we want the videography and all. And if you convert all that into a movie and give back to the parents also, they will really like it. So give them different reasons and motivate them to record. It is really irritating for the parents. They won't be so happy because we have to teach, we have to do the homework of the child, classwork of the child, and we have to record. So you will have lots of comments because I'm dealing with all these parents. Nowadays, my parents are also asking me because we are taking half part of the child's education. So you reduce half fee. So all these kind of things will pop up. So be prepared, but collaborate with them, request them, and have an orientation for them. See that they join you in documentation. If they don't, it will be a problem. I mean, problem in the sense it will be difficult.
But ma'am, we won't be able to have evidence of collaborative play.
See, probably, maybe collaborative play, maybe both brother and sister at home or something like that. Maybe some areas you may not be able to have, but some areas, because when collaboration is not possible, you cannot. So you can explain about that. You can give the reason why, because when it is social distance, there is no question of collaboration.
Right. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. I think we need to close it. It's almost 1.5 hours. So thank you so much for joining. And I should say a big thank you to ma'am to join us today. It was really enlightening. We learned a lot. And Miss Latifa, would you like to say something? We have one more IBAN, so you can just say something as a piece of advice. And you are muted. You are muted, Miss Latifa. Okay, I can.
It was good to see you all, and it was like, I never had the experience of whatever you said, like the spiritual
remote
yes,
verification. Yeah.
Stations. So I was listening to your experience, and definitely it was good to hear from Shubhalakshmi and her experiences. The the feedback and the suggestions that she has given. Even it is for everyone. Thank you very much.
So, ladies, the entire idea behind this thing came out of empathy, because we experienced it. We had so many challenges and we don't want anyone else to face those challenges. So that Padlet is here. So in between, if you come across any questions or something, you can post over there. We'll try to help you out as much as we can. And thank you so much, everyone. Have a good night, good evening, good morning,
Where can I
wherever
find
you
the
are.
Padlet link? Sorry.
Padlet is there in PYP coordinators group as well, and on
Okay, it's on the
FB
WhatsApp
as
group.
well.
Okay.
Yes, so I'll be re-forwarding it again in the group, so you can keep on adding your questions. So if I'll get something new, I'll keep on adding that. Anyways, thanks for joining us. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Lakshmi
everyone.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a nice
Thank you so
day.
much.
Stay
Thank you,
safe.
Asna. Thank you, Rosie. Nice
Thank
meeting
you,
you
Miss
all.
Rosie. Yeah.
Thank you.